Hi there, Andy Ron here with Montana Land Source. It is July 13th, 2022, and this is your video summary of the weekly Montana Land Report. We're continuing to see an uptick in price reductions on properties in the Montana land market, as well as an uptick in new listings coming onto the market, and overall slightly improving volume of properties on the market. We're just over 330 total properties on the market. We had an all-time low of around 300 earlier this year, and in typical years we would have over 600 properties on the market. So starting to improve that volume situation a little bit. Still seeing a healthy amount of sales, but overall starting to build up inventory, and I predict that continuing. A total of 33 property updates this past week, 11 new listings, 8 price reductions, 1 revised listing, 6 pending sales, and 7 sales. So like I said, kind of predicting, it seems like quite a few properties are starting to come on the market, people trying to capture this market. Although demand has cooled somewhat, it's still healthy, but buyers are being more cautious, more patient, and holding out for what they want, it appears. So we'll see what happens moving forward, but I predict building up inventory over the rest of the season, the rest of the year. We're still quite low overall sales volume, and that's largely just been a function of lack of supply. In other news, I'm proud to announce with the newest edition of the Ranch Investor Podcast, we had Gary Buchanan, who's a longtime independent financial advisor here in Billings, Montana, and also running as an independent for the U.S. Senate, for the U.S. House. Montana, up until last year, for the last couple decades, only had 1 representative that we sent to Congress, but with the last census, we grew in population enough to get back to 2 representatives going to the House. And so Gary is running for the Eastern Montana District as an independent. We had a great conversation with him about that run, and also just the markets and the economics, and again, working in Billings and Eastern Montana for decades and being politically active in the state of Montana. He was the first Secretary of Securities decades ago. Really great podcast content, I think. Do need to apologize. We had some issues with the audio quality on that podcast. It's not as loud and clear as we would like. My apologies to Gary and all our listeners on that, but we went ahead and published anyway because we think it's such great content, and you can find that at mtlandsource.com or anywhere you listen to podcasts. It's called the Ranch Investor Podcast. That is the report for this week. Thanks everybody for watching, and for all the brokers and appraisers and professionals that contribute information to mtlandsource.com. You can find access to all the listings that are on the market at any one time, as well as market data and stats, and the podcast and all kinds of information, all things relative to the Montana land market at mtlandsource.com. Thanks everybody. Have a safe and productive week.